After winning the Battle of the Trench, one night Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, had a dream that he was performing tawaf, circumambulation, of the Kaaba with his companions. To fulfill this dream, he set out toward Mecca with 1,000 companions, but the Meccans blocked their way. The Prophet assured ambassador that they had come only and exclusively for Umrah, for Umrah, the lesser pilgrim. The ambassador went back and told the Meccans, "I have seen the Emperor of Rome, Caesar, and the Emperor of Iran, Kisra, and the King of Yemen too, but I have never seen a king like Muhammad. Fighting such a man and such followers is impossible. I suggest you accept their request." But of course they didn't agree. The Prophet, PBUH, told Umar to go talk to them, but he said, "None of my relatives in Mecca are strong enough to protect me," because Umar belonged to Banu Adi, which wasn't a powerful family. Umar suggested sending Uthman because he belonged to Banu Umayyah, which was the strongest and wealthiest family in the Quraysh. Later, this family ruled over Muslims for almost 100 years. And to this day, the largest centralized Muslim empire was the Umayyad Empire. And to this day, the most powerful Muslim king, the king who ruled over the most land, was also from this family. His name was Uthman went to Mecca to negotiate, but many days passed, which caused a rumor to spread among Muslims that Uthman had been martyred. In those days, killing an ambassador meant declaring war. Because of this rumor, all the companions gathered under a tree named Rizwan and pledged to the Prophet, that they would all die but would definitely avenge Uthman's blood. But that was all a misunderstanding, and Uthman returned safe and sound. However, this sent a strong signal to the Meccans that these people were not going to back down. In such a tense situation and confusion, eventually an agreement was reached between Muslims and disbelievers. Number 1, Muslims would come for Umrah not this year, but next year. Number 2, there would be no fighting between Mecca and Medina for 10 years. Number 3, if someone from Medina came to Mecca leaving Islam, nothing would be said to him. But if someone from Mecca came to Medina accepting Islam, he would have to be returned. None of the companions liked this agreement because it clearly showed that the Meccans were being unfair. But the Prophet, PBUH, set aside all the companions and signed this agreement. The person who was signing this agreement on behalf of Mecca, as soon as the agreement was being signed, his own son escaped from Mecca, accepted Islam, and reached there. But he cried, saying, "Please don't send me back to these oppressors." But he was sent back. Many people started coming like this, and all were sent back. Once a woman also left Mecca and came to Medina, but she wasn't sent back because the Meccans had made a mistake in the wording of the agreement. It stated that if any man came from Mecca to Medina, he would be sent back. Nobody said anything about women. And in this way, if any man accepted Islam and came to Medina, he was sent back. But if any woman came, she was allowed to live comfortably. This system was going on until a person named Abu Basir came, sent him back too, but somehow he escaped from there and, leaving both Mecca and Medina, started living in the middle of nowhere. Many such people from Mecca went to Medina and were sent back from Medina, but instead of going to Mecca, they started living with Abu Basir. And here slowly a whole town was populated, and their location was so perfect that it was right on the trade route between Mecca and Syria. They started taking revenge on the Meccans. Because of Abu Basir's gang, the Meccans started suffering millions and billions in losses. Finally, the Meccans came begging and said to cancel the third point of the agreement, which they themselves had added while being very happy and powerful. They themselves said, "From today, if any man comes from Mecca to Medina, please keep him very nicely in Medina." And slowly this agreement started to strangle them. The second point of the treaty was that there would be no fighting for 10 years. So the Prophet, PBUH, took full advantage of this in the 6th year and started inviting other empires, reserves, and superpowers of the world to Islam. One letter went to Egypt in today's time. A second letter went to the Roman Empire's Heraclius, and a third letter went to Iran's King Khosrow. Today we know this was a big deal, but in those days, for those kings, it was as if someone from a small village in Pakistan wrote letters to Donald Trump and Xi Jinping. But the difference between today and those days is only that the Christians and Jews of those days were very well informed that a prophet, a messenger, would come very soon. Since he was Christian, he accepted Islam, but the Roman emperor found this very strange. So he called some Quraysh people present in his empire, and at that time, Abu Sufyan was also present in the Roman Empire. So Abu Sufyan, along with some Arabs, presented themselves in the palace of the Roman Empire and told them about Muhammad's PBUH character. The Roman emperor was very impressed hearing about Muhammad's character and said, "I knew that a prophet would come very soon, but I never thought he would be from you Arabs." Abu Sufyan, after coming out from there, told his companions, "Now even the king of the Roman Empire is afraid of Muhammad." These were the two Christian kingdoms, but Iran's king, Khosrow, said directly, "You people from the desert will teach me how to live life," and tore up the letter and threw it away. He sent 2 people to kill the prophet. His own son killed him. As soon as those 2 people reached Medina, the prophet PBUH called them and said, "Your king ordered you to kill me, but his own son has killed him." They were surprised to hear this and went back. In this way, the name of Islam started spreading throughout the world. And anyway, there was to be no fighting with Mecca for 10 years. So Muslims shifted all their attention from Mecca to... Please leave a comment if you want second part, like, and share with others, and subscribe the Muslim Timeline. Thank you.